Well, it's been a few weeks since I've got to work on this doghouse or man cave or dog cave, whatever you want to call it. But it's been super hot, and then bouts of rain and severe weather, and I've been super busy at work. Today is Wednesday, and since Monday I've already done 47 truck tires, so it's just been really hectic. It's just hard to get anything done when you're having to deal with trying to keep a business going. Here comes the crazy goats. They think I'm going to feed them again, but I'm not going to. They've already been fed twice today. But I'm going to try to work on this evening while it's a little bit cooler. The humidity's dropped just a tiny bit, so I'm going to see what I can get done this evening. Yeah, that'll help some. It's a little less shoveling I have to do. I'm too old, fat, and lazy to do a whole lot of shoveling. Plus, it's way too hot. It's 92 right now already. So what I've decided to do now, how I'm going to finish it off, is across the perimeter here at the top, I'm going to put 8-inch block sitting on this ledge. And then I'm going to space out 3 different 4-inch blocks so I can set back some 4x4 beams, I guess you call them, to go across here to the front. And then there'll be 2 12-foot long 4x4s going across the front as the main support. And then I'll put some posts down to the ground to support it vertically. That should be plenty enough to hold it. I know it's going to be a lot of weight once I get 2 feet of dirt on that, but it should be strong enough, especially once I put that bridge decking on top of it. And you know, if I need more support in the front, I'll just add it, because really the only thing they need in the front is enough room to get in. So I actually considered putting another one of these big blocks toward the middle, but it would take up too much space. So that's why I went and decided to do the 4x4 posts. And I may, in the future, across the front, I may board it up or put block or something, and just have an entrance on both ends. That way it might get some air circulation through there. I'll just have to wait and see what happens with this. I've never done anything like this before, so we'll just have to see what it does. I got my blocks and 4x4s, but I got the same old problem as usual. I got to try to figure out how to get through the gate without the dogs getting out. I always have this problem. I gotta get this dirt dug off here where the dogs has dug big holes up there. So I'm hoping this comes out somewhat right, but my plan is to take these 4-inch block and you know, set it back so I can put a 4x4 post across here. I guess you'd call it a beam instead of a post. And I'll put one here and then one right down there. And then on the ends here, I only got a 12-foot, you know, 4x4. So what I'm gonna have to do is put a post on each side or each end to support that. I should have got a 14-foot and you know, cut it and put 4-inch blocks here too. But I think what I'm gonna do anyway is in the winter time I'm gonna block off one side and you know, keep air from circulating through so it'll be warm in there for them in the winter time, which I'm sure those goats are going to take it over. I hope the dogs have enough gumption about them to stand up for themselves. I set that block in there a little bit crooked, and it don't help none that this block was cast with this corner on a taper, so it don't matter though. I mean, even if I am building a dog man cave, it's not like it's going to be a high-end condo. So if they don't like it, they'll just have to sleep out in the cold and in the heat. For right now, this summer has been brutal. So I guess next step will be to start putting in the 4x4 supports. I'm gonna have to go back and get my saw. I forgot about it. So for some reason I wound up with an extra 8-inch block. I only paid for 16 block and they gave me 17. So I'm not gonna have to use that one. But I did forget to get 2 extra 4-inch block, because I'm gonna have to have them in the front, because there are gonna be 2 more posts here in the front. And what I'm gonna do is put 4x4 posts up each corner and then 2 in the middle. And there'll be 2 4x4s 12 foot long across the front here, stacked on top of each other, because that's going to be a lot of weight on that front side. Because like I said, I'm going to have dirt, you know, probably a foot deep on the top, and in the front here I'm going to stack up rocks across, and then you know, I'll pack dirt in behind it. Or I may get more 8-inch block and run across the top of it. I've not decided yet. These things have got really expensive, so I'll probably just use rock since I got so much of it. And it'll look better too. So I'm gonna do some thinking on it. It's getting ready to get dark, and I'll get back on this tomorrow evening. So I'm trying to decide what to do about a base in this thing, or a bottom. I had initially planned on putting gravel in, but you know, that big rock right there has kind of put a damper in that, because I can't dig it down any further. So I'm probably just going to leave it like it is, and I'm going to put some kind of a waterproof membrane down or something, and then that way I can put wood chips in for the dogs and the goats to lay on. If all I had to worry about was the dogs sleeping in here, it wouldn't be no big deal, because dogs are pretty clean about where they sleep. But now these stupid goats, even though they're a fairly clean animal, where they sleep at, they'll get up, and they'll poop, and then they'll lay right back down. And that makes a mess in where their bedding is. Because I'm going to put wood chips in here for them to lay on. And you know, like I said, if it was just the dogs, it wouldn't be no problem, but since the goats are going to be in here too, I'll have to change the bedding out every so often and clean the poop out of it. I mean, goat poop's not really that messy, but it packs down after a while, and it makes it really hard to get out. Well, it's the next day, or actually the next evening, and it's still hot out, but it's cooled down a whole lot, so I'm gonna get started on this thing again. So I've kind of changed my plans just a tiny bit. I'm still going to use the blocks at the bottom for the post to sit on, but what I've decided to do, instead of using the blocks with the holes in them, I'm going to use 4-inch solids, but I'm going to split them in half. That's why I only bought 2 of them. So like I was saying before, there'll be a post in the corner and then 2 in the middle, but they'll be doubled up. So splitting that block in half, I'll still have room to double up the posts. And then again on this side, it's going to have a single post. Actually, I could put 2 posts on the end too. It'd make it a whole lot stronger that way. But it really don't need it, because, you know, most of the weight's going to be sitting on these blocks anyway, on these ends. I'll just see how it turns out when it gets to that point, and I'll make a decision then. So during one of my 4 trips I made to Lowe's today, getting stuff for work, I got me a brick chisel and some 6-inch construction screws. And that's what I'll use to bolt those 2 beams together, or screw the 2 beams together. I need to put them somewhere where the goats won't get them. These daggone goats will take my stuff and just run with it. Get away! It's over there trying to gnaw on my saw. What are you doing, Sarge? Why don't you go run that goat off? Well, I hit it too hard. It didn't break as clean as I wanted, but like I said, it's a doghouse, not a mansion. Those other 2 will go straight across from these notches in here. But I think that root and that clump of dirt there, I'll have to dig it out with a mattock, and I don't have one here, so. But I can get started on the rest of it anyway. Goats are crazy this evening. That one there's using that big dead tree as a jumping board. Then that cream coated one there just looking at me like it's wanting food. They're always wanting food. I could feed them day in and day out and they'd never stop eating. Okay, so I'm going to cut some 16-inch pieces out of this 4x4 to go right here to raise that top beam up. And the same thing over here. So I made me a little workbench there. I'm right-handed and I can't do anything left-handed. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut my posts for the ends here, and they'll be shorter, 8 inches shorter than the very top, so I can stack two on top of each other. I think my battery's going dead. Yep, got one bar left. Okay, let's see if this 12-foot piece will fit without me having to cut it. I didn't measure it, so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to trim it soon. It's getting too dark for me to work, so I'm gonna have to pick this up again tomorrow evening. I think I have everything now that I need to finish this thing, and at least I can get the top on it and get some dirt on it. I don't know if I'll get the rock front done or not, but we'll see. Well, it's the next evening. It's cooled down a little bit, but it's still pretty hot. I got to thinking last night, and I've changed my mind on how I'm gonna do this. Instead of putting two beams across, I'm gonna put 4. And instead of double them up like I was talking about yesterday. I was going to stack them. I was going to put one here and then one here. And, double up and screw them together. But if I put 4, it should take care of that. And I'm still going to put 2 stacked across the front. And hopefully that'll carry all the weight. So I recorded this last night, but I think it was too dark for you to see. But this is the way the front beam is going to be. And then there'll be 2 more posts put in, or 3 more posts put in underneath this. And then there'll be beams running across to this and setting on top. But then in between, I'm going to put, more pieces of the 4x4 in there. Well, I wish my metal there was a little bit wider. I could build them a little porch on the front. But I guess, since it's wood on the front, I could actually just build them a little porch out of wood. Just something to keep rain from actually blowing back inside there, and snow in the wintertime. So I may do that later, just build a little, say like a 16-inch place out here to catch rain and snow. Yeah, I just realized something. I'm gonna have to cut some pieces of 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood to put back there to raise that up, because it's setting 3/4 inch below the top of the block. I don't think it matters a whole lot, but I'd rather have it flush with the top of the blocks. So I think I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. It's starting to get dark on me. So I'll work on this again tomorrow. I'm supposed to be off work unless something happens, but I'm sure it will. So what I'll do first thing is get these spacers cut out, and I'll start screwing this together, and I'll get some 3/4 inch plywood to put back there to space that out to the top of the block. once I get that all put together and screwed down real good, I'll be able to put this metal on top of it. And I'll probably screw the metal down to the beams going across. Just a little bit, you know, a little bit of safety, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere, because I'm going to put on this back side, there'll probably be 3 feet of dirt on it, and then it'll taper off toward the front, and I'll probably have about 1 foot of dirt on the front. And like I said, I'm going to stack rock across the front edge to pile the dirt up against, and then on the ends there'll be dirt, or I'm sorry, rock stacked across here to fill in dirt behind it. It'll be tapered all in. It'll look real good, I hope. Be a high-end doghouse, that's for sure. Boy, I have the worst luck. I told you yesterday I'd probably wind up having to work this morning, and I did, but luckily it was just a quickie. And I get off work, come up here to start working on it, and then it starts raining. Just as soon as I pulled in down here, it started raining. Hopefully it doesn't rain a whole lot. Actually, the rain feels pretty good, because it's real humid this morning. Yeah, I just had to go down and do a couple of truck tires this morning, so it wasn't that bad. Like I said, it was a quickie. I like quickies. Now, if I could just turn this thing into a quickie and get it done. I need to really get it done today. At least enough where they can use it, because I'm going to be out of town for almost 2 weeks here now, starting Tuesday. So I'm going to get my boards cut for in between these rails, or beams, or whatever you want to call them. Well, that's got that. Something I forgot to do was to get some pressure treated wood to put under those rails in the back. So I have to do that real quick. So I went to Lowe's and I got some pressure treated board here, 3/4. I decided not to use plywood. I've got a whole sheet of 3/4 pressure treated plywood, but I didn't want to cut it up just for this little bit. So I'll just use that. And I've decided I'm going to put rolled roofing down on the bottom. So I'm going to have to take these boards up so I can get in there and rake that out where the goats has knocked more stuff down in there. And I'll roll that roofing out and then start putting it all back together. So I got the rolled roofing put down, and I tore it just a little bit, but it should be all right. And then I got my supports put back in. So now I'm going to try to start putting some screws in this stuff to get ready for the metal. The metal should be quick and easy. We'll just have to see. So now my next step will be to put my blocks down in front and stick my posts in here, and I'll be ready to put the metal on. I just ran back to Lowe's and I've got a 4x6 post that I've decided to put in the front here to give it a little bit extra support. I had considered putting 2 4x4s and double them up, but I think the 4x6 will be plenty. So I'm gonna get these cut real quick and start putting them in. Okay, so I got my front supports in now, so I have to pull up these rails and screw those down, which I wasn't paying attention. I went ahead and screwed this one down. Ain't no big deal. So I'm gonna get this done real quick. Okay, they're in. So I'm ready to start putting the metal on this thing. I cut that one just a little bit shorter than it needed to be, but that's okay. Once I get 10 tons of dirt on it, it's gonna it's going to set down. It'll squeeze its guts out. Well, they didn't quite cut my metal correctly. They cut this piece 5 inches short. I don't know how they did that. I knew I should have watched them cut this. I guess what I'm going to do is fill these blocks up with dirt and put some on here and taper it off. And then I'll cut that piece of road roofing I got left in half and just lap it over. And that should keep any water from running back under here. I really wanted it to come all the way out over here, but these pieces are only 24 foot 4 inches when they are new. And they were supposed to cut it dead center in half, but you can see they missed it by a long shot. So I think I probably better stack some rock in here on these ends before I start piling any dirt in there. That way I won't have to shovel a lot to start putting my rock in. So I put me a pile of dirt and rocks down here so I can start on this, but I forgot to hit record. Well, I'm gonna work on getting this done, so I'm not gonna record it so you guys don't get bored. I know it's not very exciting watching somebody stack rocks. So I'm gonna work on this and then I'll come back in a little bit. Well, I've got my rock walls put in on both ends. And I've got my rolled roofing in there. Hopefully it'll catch the water where they cut that so short. But I think I'm ready to just start covering it up because we're supposed to be getting some real bad storms moving in here in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to rush and cover it up. I probably won't be able to completely finish it because I was wanting to put a row of rocks across the front. And you'll make it look real nice all the way across, but I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, I think I'm going to end this video here. I'm not going to have enough big rock to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to stack rock all the way across the front. But I guess what I'm going to have to do is just put landscape rock on it. I think I've got some down there in that mess, down there in the weeds. I'll have to get the weed eater out and try to find them. But I'll find something and put across the top, and then I want to put at least a foot of dirt all the way out to the front. The rain's moving in. I don't know if you can hear it. It's crazy. It's raining and the sun's shining. But there's some big black clouds moving in. According to the Weather Channel, we're supposed to get hit pretty bad here in a little bit with some heavy rain. I think I'll let it rain on this some and let it settle it down, and I'm going to put that root rake I built on and go through and pick out the bigger rocks on the top and get them out. Make it a lot easier to grade this down. I tried to smooth it out, and all it's doing is just dragging the rocks to the top. So I'd say once it rains on it some, and then it's supposed to pour the rain all next week, so it should help it. I'm going to end the video here. Like I said, there's nothing else I can do since I don't have enough big rock to go across the front. But I'll probably use landscape blocks and build it up and then finish it off. And I'll do another short video. I don't want to do another long video on this. But, you know, as always, guys, like, subscribe, share, and do the new thing hype. And help my videos out. Try to push them out there. Until next time, we'll see you later.